Stories of people fighting their way out of poverty and ending up as superstars are so inspiring. This video is about UFC fighters who did exactly that. Number 5. Conor McGregor. McGregor's rapid rise to fame and money in the UFC is without a doubt one of the most incredible stories in MMA history. When he made his UFC debut in 2013, he was two-division champion in the British promotion, Cage Warriors, but the reality was that the 24-year-old was broke and still lived with his parents. After TKO'ing Marcus Brimage, McGregor addressed the media. "Just last week, I collected social welfare." Since then, the Notorious has never looked back, and his charismatic personality and talent for backing up his words of violent action in the Octagon has proven to be an attractive mix that has catapulted him to the status of MMA's greatest celebrity. Along the way, he's become the first UFC fighter to ever hold two championships at the same time, set two pay-per-view records in 2016, and gained wealth beyond his wildest expectations. Not bad for a fighter who was on the verge of quitting MMA to pursue a career as a plumber. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, share and like. Number 4. Jose Aldo. Aldo hails from the favelas of Brazil and had no more than a roof over his head in his upbringing and had to rely on the charity of others to practice martial arts. Aldo worked double shifts in construction to save enough money to buy a plane ticket to Rio to work out at the famous Nova União gym. Due to lack of money, Aldo slept in the gym and ate only once a day. Jose began putting together an impressive winning record that would lead him to become a WEC champion and later a featherweight champion in the UFC. Aldo would continue to defend his belt 7 times while earning 6-figure sums per fight. However, Aldo's biggest payday came at UFC 194 when he finally faced his rival Conor McGregor in the most promoted fight in UFC history. Aldo would lose in just 13 seconds, but with a base salary of $400,000 and a champion's cut of the 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, Aldo would never have to worry about his next meal. Number 3. Nate Diaz. Diaz claimed in 2013 to be broke and therefore refused to fight again until the UFC improved his contract. When the UFC refused to cooperate, a standoff lasted over a year until Diaz reluctantly returned to action for the same pay as before. In 2015, Diaz again tried to take matters into his own hands, this time by calling out the sport's biggest star, Conor McGregor. The Notorious was scheduled to fight Rafael dos Anjos at UFC 196, but when dos Anjos was forced to withdraw due to injury, Diaz was asked to step in on short notice and collected $500,000 for his troubles. Diaz shocked the world when he defeated McGregor in the Octagon. A rematch was unavoidable, and Diaz made sure to demand a large paycheck at UFC 202, claiming not just a $2 million base salary, but also a share of the event's record-breaking 1.7 million buys. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Number 2. Ronda Rousey. Ronda won a bronze medal in judo at the 2008 Beijing Olympics with a cash prize of just $10,000. Rousey retired after the Olympics and worked in several low-wage part-time jobs to make ends meet. Rousey was living out of her beat-up Honda Accord at one point before moving into a tiny apartment after making the fateful decision to pursue a career in MMA. The sport was a perfect match for Ronda. She began armbarring opponents left, right, and center, and it quickly became apparent that she had all the ingredients to be a star. She quickly became the Strikeforce champion, later promoted to UFC Women's Bantamweight champion. The sky was no longer the limit for Rousey, and she took the UFC by storm, quickly becoming the event's main attraction as she went on a 6-fight winning streak. By 2015, Rousey had established herself as a global superstar and one of the top 10 highest-paid female athletes in the world. Number 1. Michael Bisping. Bisping's first attempt to make a living from martial arts failed because, despite becoming the British light heavyweight champion, he couldn't support himself and his young family. That could have been the end of Bisping's story, as he went on to work in a variety of manual labor jobs. He eventually found his way into MMA, but fighting for UK promotions left him struggling to pay his bills, and he would sleep in his car to train at a gym in another city. Bisping's big break came in 2006, when he won Season 3 of The Ultimate Fighter to earn a UFC contract and become the UK's first major MMA star. Bisping completed his goal of becoming the UFC middleweight world champion in 2016 and was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame in 2019. Michael has made over $6 million in basic salaries and bonuses over the years, plus he also works as a sports analyst, actor, and commentator, assuring he'll never have to sleep in his car again. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, share and like, it means a lot. Check out other inspiring personalities and great achievements in the video about well-known UFC fighters who chose to retire on their own terms. Link in the description.